Greetings, my fellow freedom lovers and sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning to the LL3 podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful, wild, and wonderful Mountain State. And today's date is Wednesday, September 9th, 2020. So let us begin. Yeah, I almost said beautiful, swampy mangroves of South Florida. Now I'm in the Mountain State, West Virginia. Yeah, it's getting ready to cool down a little bit. It's hot, but it's not like the subtropics. So, but the dogs, you got to always be very concerned, and people are not really accustomed to this heat. So, everyone's gonna be safe out there. Yeah, and just gonna be, talking about stuff pertaining to COVID-19. And I say, why not? Still don't use the same old rhetoric. Wash your hands, wash your hands. Yeah, but that's really going to help out, right? You probably heard me enough times addressing that. Always be vigilant on your health. Still do it today. Of course, more towns want to do, cities around the world and countries want to do some lockdowns. Looks like Sweden succeeded. They had their cases. South Dakota as well. Everything's like trial and error, of course, but when it gets politicized, that becomes a deception. If you folks heard my show a long time, understand where I come from in these areas. Try to be fair, observant, and use decorum. I use sarcasm now and then, which is good. Yeah, it's funny because I was like hearing the stories, what's going on. Andrew Cuomo wants to blame Trump for COVID-19. Wants to tax the rich. Good grief, man. Talk about Twilight Zone. That's not the deal, too. He talks about taxing the rich. Mayor de Blasio. Boy wonder himself. But boy wonder, I would say. Symbolically speaking. Yeah, a lot of these individuals in these little Mickey Mouse clubs, political parties, are wearing no clothes. Getting so obvious. Even the mainstream garbage media are like dumbfounded, which is amazing. Joe Biden, clueless as usual. I'm going to have to get him probably chip in his brain to actually talk. But who'll be controlling him? Oh, man. Of course, infidel Ilhan Omar wants to still blame white people, white supremacy for what's going on. Just take a look in the mirror. Damn, so damn ugly, too. Yeesh. Man, pathetic. Pathetic. Well, it's how it is. Don't fall for the hype and hoopla, mind control, propaganda machine. We'll care less about you. Oh, yeah, and of course, Natural News did a thing on child quarantine camps. CDC opens up FEMA camps to hold children who might have been exposed to COVID-19. Might. Assume. Kind of, sort of. When government assumes, it's the truth. Yeah. Bizarro World 101. Well, it looks like some 3 typhoons hit northeastern China, causing floods and crop destruction. Yep. Food shortages would be a lot more worse. Over 300 civil groups seek international probe of China's human rights abuses. Should be for all government. Human rights abuses, human trafficking, child trafficking, yeah. And of course, just scanning through here as usual. Trump nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. Here are some of its worst winners. Oh, yeah. White guy gets NFL practice squad job. Deadspin angry. It wasn't Kaepernick. Who the hell cares? Shoot. That's another poster child, right? Yeah. Of course, he left his girlfriend, claim his girlfriend, with that Mickey Mouse Club technocratic funded group, Beaker Lives Matter. Yeah. Well, he was not a consistent player. So, let's just see here. Large hardened collider creates matter from light. Of course, China revokes Chinese graduate student visa on fears of research theft. Yeah, that's Zero Hedge. October surprise. Satellite images suggest North Korea preparing ballistic missile test. Yeah, it could be someone from the inside as well. Of course, there's one here. Will there be an EMP attack on American soil before the election? Yeah. New World Order, of course. Not the same Joe. Former stenographer says Biden's cognitive ability has declined significantly. Yeah, that was in blacklisted news. How about this one? Big League. Yeah, Big League. Yeah, that's the name of the site. Leftist anarchist Boogaloo members charged with conspiring with Hamas to overthrow U.S. government. The Homeland Security is doing a great job on that. Please. BigLeaguePolitics.com. I'm not going to talk about that. Faction game teams forth. My factioneers. My team is better than yours. Me. Very juvenile, of course. Oh, yeah. Durham probe releases new documents of former officials linked to Kleinsmith. That's from SGT report. Yeah. And, of course, 5G smell proliferation takes hit in Cambridge, Massachusetts. That was on September 4th. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bar has a couple of things. Trump make a claim Joe Biden won't produce list of extreme far left judicial picks. Could never withstand. Senators react to being on Trump's list of potential U.S. Supreme Court of the United States nominees. Pelosi, something is wrong with Trump. His family should do an intervention. Yeah, just look in the mirror. Good grief, man. Pelosi. Another waste case here. Yeah, so, I'm just, Barr federal action help cut Chicago murder rate in half. Well, the people in Chicago the citizens there need a right to keep and bear arms. It's guaranteed under their state constitution, and Chicago's actions is null and void. In other words, impairing contract. Of course, a continuation of the whole Julian Assange extradition trial. War on the press, like him or not. Yeah, so, just a lot of stuff here. Censored.news. Good site to go to. Newsbusters here. Let's see what they have to say here. I already did one. Impeach him again. Milano, Oswalt, and company want Trump's head over Woodward interview. Just go back to doing TV shows. They're glamour girl, glamour chumps out there. Came and wrap your own crotches for all I know. Yeah, so alright, you know what? So actually I'm gonna start it off here from lifesite.com today. 8:13 p.m. It's Wednesday night. It says here, Instagram bans LifeSite report on drug to treat COVID. Cites misinformation. Go figure is owned by Facebook. Orwellian compadres. Facebook. Yep. Alright. Soon to be dead as well. So let's see what they have to say here. The stifled article cited testimony from an accomplished medical doctor and professor of epidemiology at one of the most prestigious Ivy League schools. Well, let's see what the Ivy League schools have to say here. Of course, there's a petition here. It's by Martin Berger. Follow him everywhere. Petition to tell FDA to reverse its opposition to hydrochloroquine and help save lives. Sign petition here. I say, sell them out the damn market. No victim, no crime. And who the hell cares what those Big Pharma's peasants, FDA has to say about it, right? Well, just check on here. Instagram has removed a post by LifeSite News for allegedly going against our community guidelines and containing harmful false information. Yeah, how flamboyant is that? The post referred to an article on Yale professor Harvey A. Reich praising the benefits of using hydrochloroquine HCQ in treating COVID-19 patients. Instagram wrote in a standard email sent to LifeSite News, even if you didn't mean to offend our guidelines, encourage people to express themselves in a way that respectful to everyone. Huh. Yeah. We want to keep Instagram a safe place for everyone. The email contained, we do not allow false information that could contribute to physical harm. Wow. Without you, I will be clueless, be dumbed down and proud. Right? That's what it wants to do. Wear our shackles and chains when we go on the computer, posting stuff that may offend people. That's actually them, okay? So, we'll continue on here. In some cases, this includes information that recognizes health organizations that could mislead people about how to cure or prevent a disease, or that could discourage people from seeking medical treatment. Then the email then referred to the World Health Organization for more information about the coronavirus. Yeah, I want a globalist institution that are run by prostitutes. By removing LifeSite's Instagram post, a social media platform owned by Facebook, censored not merely a random thought of one of its users, but the informed opinion of a respected medical doctor and professor of epidemiology at one of the most prestigious Ivy League schools. As reported by LifeSite News, Harvey A. Reich has praised the proven benefits of the HCQ in fighting COVID-19, emphasizing at the same time that opponents of HCQ have no science to back them up. I conclude the evidence is overwhelming, Reich told host Mark Levin during the latter's Fox News show in August. There's no question that the people who need to be treated are treated early. Hydrochloroquine has a very substantial benefit in reducing risk of hospitalization or mortality. Reich accused the opponents of HCQ of being engaged in a massive disinformation campaign that stretches from the government to the media that's either suppressing this message or it's countering it with a false message. He admitted that he doesn't know the exact reasons for this disinformation campaign, but said later, it's an absurd situation that people have compared to 1984 in the Ministry of Truth as someone that's limiting what people can say on objective facts. It's beyond belief. Of course, they want us to be dumb, stagnant, and happy. Don't worry. Drink Kool-Aid. Yep. In reality, the science is one-sided in supporting its results that is stronger than anything else I've ever studied in my entire career, said Reich. The evidence in favor of hydrochloroquine benefit at risk patients treated early as patients is stronger than anything else I have ever studied. Reich said most of the scientists working for the government as well as their institutions cite studies that there are hospitalized patients, or they cite studies that treat low-risk patients. There are people under 60, age of 60, with no chronic conditions, and so on. People who will survive the virus just on their own without treatment most entirely. On the other hand, Reich and other scientists like him emphasize the benefit of HCQ use in older people and those with other underlying conditions who are at high risk of contracting COVID-19 and having more severe progression of the virus. He explained that he was never contacted by Anthony Fauci, another beaker on parade, head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infection Diseases, or NIAID, and a key member of President Trump's coronavirus task force, discussed how their understanding of science differ. Reich admitted that some adverse effects can be measured in some people who take HCQ, medication itself has, in some people, perhaps 10% of normal people, it can change the pace of the heart muscle contractions, called the heart rhythm. That change has only measurement value. In other words, if you measure it on an electrocardiogram, you can see it has essentially no bearing for almost everyone has that as to any risk for a real arrhythmia that has potentially life-threatening consequences. Reich said the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is a very strange organization that has a history of not making science-based, rational-based decisions about its approvals. It's outrageous, he concluded. People need to be writing or calling their congressman and senator and complaining that this is not the way the country should work. A bureaucracy that that's in bed with other forces that are causing them to make decisions that are not based on the science that's killing Americans. LifeSite News has experienced some censorship, not only from Instagram but also from its parent company, Facebook. One of LifeSite's posts was slapped with a warning label claiming that the article contained false information, like the article censored by Instagram. It showed you this one to talk about HCQ. Facebook also linked a different article claiming that HCQ is ineffective. Goodness gracious, a lot of bending over going on. For Facebook has been in the news for censorship for years. Last June, undercover video showed the content moderator as a Facebook contractor admitted they proactively deleted conservative and pro-Trump posts. So, censorship 101 again. Yeah. Do a donation if you can, folks. But the whole thing is very irrelevant. Indeed. Why? Because they suck at what they do. This is why social media sites like them, these big techs, oligarchs, technocratic douchebags, want us to think for us. They want us to have them contemplate on their behalf. Just getting the big bird for all I care. Very distracting indeed. Disturbing. Is why you'll always know about nutrition, exercise, sunlight, which I'm going to talk about that later. Every affection has an Achilles heel, whether it's happened by nature or created by man. Oh yeah. Remember, New World Order propaganda, New World Order 101. So you gotta look at that. But yeah, check it out, folks. I encourage, do what's best for you on countering COVID-19. This is why when you politicize it, it makes it a deception. I believe it does exist. I'm convinced it's a bioweapon. However, the politicalization of this matter makes it a deception. So, when government knows best, it turns to crap. So let's go do here another article from Natural News. Trump administration demanding nationwide rollout of COVID-19 vaccines by November 1st. This is by Ethan Huff again. Came out today. As it reads here, Donald Trump has ordered the nation's governor to prepare for the warp speed rollout of Wuhan coronavirus COVID-19 vaccines no later by November 1st, 2 days before the election. A letter sent by the CDC's Robert Redfield at the behest of the Trump administration calls on the individual states rapidly peel back all the red tape and pave the way for the nationwide distribution of Wuhan coronavirus vaccines, which is set to commence in less than 2 months. What the Trump administration wants is for the states to begin setting up vaccine distribution sites as quickly as possible. These sites will require freezer farms to keep the vaccines chilled, as well as other logistical components to ensure their rapid delivery. The problem, however, is that existing regulatory requirements make the process slow, and Trump wants it to be fast. Thus, he is using Redfield to issue a decree to each and every state calling for all regulatory barriers to be scrapped. Normal time required to obtain these permits presents a significant barrier to the success of this urgent public health program. Redfield wrote in his letter dated August 27th, CDC urgently requests your assistance in expedient applications for these distribution facilities. Redfield letter goes on to read, further petitioning and, if necessary, countering, waiving requirements that would prevent these facilities from becoming fully operational by November 1st, 2020. Yes, I touch my nose, I talk like this. Well, that's All Saints Day, right? Probably daylight savings time, too. We're back an hour. Trump, the faster Americans get vaccinated, the better. Trump is determined to mass vaccinate as many Americans as possible before the election, which some speculate is his way of trying to boost his chances of winning and control. This is why the vaccine candidates that are further along the clinical trials are being rushed into commercial production at Trump's command. Despite an earlier suggesting the Wuhan coronavirus might go away without a vaccine, Trump has since switched his tune and is now pushing for mass distribution as quickly as early as possible. The first vaccines most likely to emerge from Phase 3 clinical trials will pose exceptional challenges to public health officials, requiring storage at sub-zero temperatures and 2 doses per individual spread weeks apart, writes Michael Wilner of 4 McClatchy, D.C. Officials appointed by Trump to head up his so-called Operation Warp Speed program for mass Wuhan coronavirus COVID-19 vaccination say that come November, the administration will be unveiling an overwhelming public messaging campaign to strong-arm America into getting vaccinated. Yes, I want to be screwed. Vaccinate me really hard. On my arm or on my buttocks. Don't understand the pressure I'm in. Yeah, I know. I gotta use these musical sarcasms as usual. Sorry, folks. Just like dawns on me at times. At the Republican National Convention last week, Trump, Ivanka, Mike Pence, and other Republicans reiterated their Operation Warp Speed plan, which is aiming for the rollout of Wuhan coronavirus COVID-19 vaccines before the November election. But don't be surprised if Democrats in D.C. may say, "Oh, election fraud, shoot us up. It's all mind control," you know. But I'm not impressed with the vaccine hype anyway. It will be preceded by a practice run. We're talking about having early discussions in September, October about this, how this will actually work, indicated Wes Wheeler, president of UPS Healthcare and one of the stakeholders who stands to benefit from Trump's November 1st rollout of Wuhan coronavirus COVID-19 vaccines. I think we'll be given instructions on how it will work. We haven't seen that yet. Wheeler added, now they're talking about 10 million doses in November. First people to receive Trump's Wuhan coronavirus COVID-19 vaccines will be those who are considered vulnerable, meaning non-white, elderly, and immunocompromised. After that, everyone else will be expected to line right up and get jabbed as more vaccines come off the production line. Gonna have a vax party. Shoot it up, yeah. You know, these will be almost hand-to-mouth shipments. Wheeler further indicated about how cold chain shipping containers that can hold vaccines for up to 96 hours at required temperatures will be sent all across the country by November. So we'll be getting orders to ship overnight to a nursing home or a senior living facility, or a vaccination center of some kind of hospital, where they'll have people lined up to be ready to be vaccinated. The latest news about Trump's Warp Speed Wuhan coronavirus rollout is available at trump.news. Well. Promotion. Put a gun to her head. Let's try to manipulate them by using involuntary servitude and mind control matter. Wow. Sometimes just baffles me, you know. Very Orwellian indeed. Well, like many of us talks about, I said aforementioned during my little rant, exercise, nutrition, herbs, every Achilles heel. every affection has an Achilles heel. So, yeah, I'm getting a little tired. But I'm going to do one more. And it'll be done. And this one here actually came from peakprosperity.com. Came out, a little blog came out today. And it says here, vitamin D, powerful bullet against COVID-19. That's what Adam Taggart has to say. The video on here. Recent studies show that vitamin D is a very powerful weapon. It's a powerful weapon in preventing and treating COVID-19. We all should be taking it, or get some plenty of sun, folks. It's now been clinically proven that people deficient in vitamin D are statistically more likely to contract coronavirus if exposed. And similarly, with those greater vitamin D are statistically less likely to get it. As a new study out of Spain shows that vitamin D via classified, hopefully I didn't butcher it, is one of the most effective treatments that reduces the impact of those infected with COVID-19 when combined with a prudent standard of care, including early delivery of hydrochloroquine and azithromycin. The results are pretty staggering. How staggering? Of 50 patients this way, only 2% required admission to the ICU or the control group, where 50% of patients required admission. Following recent insight that the bradykinin pathway of transmission, we are now really starting to gain the upper hand on understanding effective ways to prevent and treat COVID-19, what should be able to save lives and reopen our economies. That's pretty cool. There's a video on here as well. You can hear it all for yourself. Looks like it's an interview, 26 minutes long. So check it out, folks. Like I said before, everything's gonna be a flaw. So focus, achieve. You'll all be fine. But and you know what? That will be it. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or something interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence with decorum. Furthermore, I will leave the footnotes of this episode on my Spreaker page. If you want to do a donation, support these other sites, you can hit me at paypal.me/LookYouLuck3. Like I said, even donate those other sites I address. And it'll be very good for all of us. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.